You ever get that feeling that there's some kind of hidden force shaping your life? You know, like a silent partner, pulling the strings on everything from your health to your success? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a power that you already have, one that's working non-stop, just below the surface.
So, I gotta ask you, what do you think is the most powerful force in your life? I mean, really. Is it your willpower? How smart you are? Maybe your circumstances? Whatever you're thinking, the real answer? Well, it just might surprise you.
Because chances are, the most powerful force in your life is the one you're using right now, this very second. And you probably don't even realize it. Yeah, we're talking about the incredible, mind-blowing power of your subconscious mind.
Okay, so to really get a grip on how powerful this thing is, let's start with a medical mystery. It's something you've probably heard of, and it's the perfect clue to understanding how this all works.
I'm talking about the placebo effect. We've seen it over and over in scientific studies, right? Someone takes what they think is a powerful new drug, but it's just a sugar pill. And guess what? They actually start to get better. The pill itself has zero medicine in it, so what in the world is doing the healing?
Well, this quote from a medical journal gives us a massive clue. It says that all those different explanations, faith, belief, just expecting to get better, they might all just boil down to one thing: autosuggestion. Or, to put it simply, it's about communication with the subconscious. And that idea, that right there is the bridge to understanding everything else we're going to talk about.
Okay, so if we're supposed to be communicating with this subconscious mind, we probably ought to know what it is, right? Well, the author Joseph Murphy came up with this brilliant, super simple way to think about it.
See, he explains that it's not like you have two separate brains. You've got one mind, but it has two totally different parts that do different jobs. There's your conscious mind, the one you're using to think and listen right now, and then there's the subconscious mind. Huge, powerful.
And here's the best way to picture their relationship. Think of a big ship. Your conscious mind, that's the captain, standing on the bridge. The captain's the one looking at the maps, making all the decisions and shouting out the orders. And your subconscious mind, that's the entire crew down in the engine room. They don't ask questions, they don't argue, they just hear the orders and get to work, carrying them out perfectly.
And this crew of yours, it's got some pretty wild characteristics. For starters, it takes any order from the captain, no questions asked. It works 24/7, literally. It's what keeps your heart beating and your lungs breathing while you sleep. It's where all your emotions and habits live. And here's the kicker. It doesn't reason or argue. It just does what it's told.
Here's another way to think about it that's super powerful. Your subconscious is like really, really rich garden soil. And this soil, it doesn't care what you plant in it. Not one bit. You can plant seeds of success and positivity, and it'll grow you a beautiful garden. Or you can plant seeds of fear and doubt, and it'll grow a bunch of nasty weeds just as easily. This soil just grows whatever you give it.
All right, so if your subconscious is the soil, what are the seeds? Well, that brings us to the most important rule of the game, the fundamental law that makes this whole thing tick.
And this is maybe the most important part to get. Your subconscious mind doesn't react to what's actually happening out there. It only reacts to your thoughts about what's happening. It has no way of knowing if something's true or false, real or imagined. It only knows what the captain, your conscious mind, tells it is true.
It's just like Joseph Murphy said, the law of life is the law of belief. And what is a belief really? It's just a thought that you've accepted as true. That's it. That thought, once you accept it and feel it, becomes the new order shouted down to the engine room.
And just so you understand the scale we're dealing with here, get this. Some estimates say that over 90% of our mental life is subconscious. Just let that sink in for a second. That means while the captain up on the deck is trying to steer, the crew is running more than 90% of the ship on old automatic orders.
Okay, so this is all fascinating stuff, right? But how do we actually use it? How do we become a better captain and start giving our crew some better orders? Let's get into the practical side of things.
The secret here is all about timing. You want to catch a moment when the conscious captain is kinda off duty, or at least not paying full attention. And when does that happen? In that sleepy, drowsy state right before you drift off to sleep and right as you're waking up. In those moments, the gatekeeper is relaxed, and that makes the subconscious soil way more ready for new seeds.
So one of the most powerful ways to do this is called the sleeping technique, and it's super simple. Step 1, get all comfy and let yourself get into that sleepy, relaxed state. Step 2,
Take whatever it is you want and boil it down to a short, simple phrase that states it as if it's already happened. Something like, I am successful and prosperous. Then step 3, just repeat that phrase over and over, quietly with feeling like a lullaby, until you fall asleep.
And that's not the only tool in the toolbox. There's also the visualization technique, where you basically play a mental movie of what you want, making it as real and vivid as you can. Or the thank you technique, where you tap into the feeling of gratitude before you even have the thing you want, just repeating thank you, until you genuinely feel it.
You know, Murphy tells this incredible story about a singer who was just paralyzed by stage fright. So a few times a day, and especially right before she went to sleep, she'd get calm and just repeat this phrase to herself. And wouldn't you know it, just a week later, she walks out on stage, totally poised and confident, and gives an amazing performance. She had literally given her subconscious crew a new set of orders, and they followed them perfectly.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's pretty simple, actually. The power to change your outer world, your health, your wealth, your relationships, it's not out there somewhere. It's inside you. The blueprint for your entire life is being drawn right now, inside your own mind.
This quote from Murphy just says it all, doesn't it? Your habitual thinking and imagery mold, fashion, and create your destiny. I mean, think about that. The things you think about all the time, the pictures you hold in your mind, that's the blueprint. And your subconscious mind is the master builder, working 24/7 to make it your reality.
So, I want to leave you with a really simple but powerful rule you can start using literally today. It's this: never, ever finish a negative statement. The second you catch yourself thinking, I'll never be able to do that, just stop. And then immediately flip it around. I can do that. All things are possible. What you're doing is consciously yanking out a weed before it takes root and planting a flower instead.
Because in the end, it really all comes down to this one question. If your mind is a garden and your thoughts are the seeds, what are you planting in it? Take a look at the garden you have now, and more importantly, what are you going to plant today?